and welcome to episode 80 of Philo, which I think is pretty dang cool. Gosh, I'm trying to remember what I named this episode. I'm trying to remember what I named it. Antivenom. That's what I named it because they were being cured of everything. I have Miss Robin here, who is my better half and co-host, who knows more about comics than most people on the planet. And then I have, even though he has a different name, I have Daniel Scott Gabriel Murray as our guest artist today. And then let me get some art stuff going on here. And then let me get here. Because I was catching him up on what was going on in the story, which was basically that we had him blasted off of Armand. Armand assessed his life as the mushroom healed him. The venom goes in a jar with olive oil. They go off to charm school. And then the mushroom cleanses the mycelium network. That was basically where we left off. And so I didn't know if you wanted to take the first panel or not.
I'll take the first panel, sure.
Okay, yeah. If you want to take the first panel, we can do that. And then let me find some cool music for us to kind of jam to. How are you doing, Robin?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. Let me do this. Yeah.
I got distracted by this crazy story about how Indonesia is flying One Piece flags in protest.
Are they?
Yeah, they're like using it as a way to protest their government by flying the One Piece Jolly Roger. It's crazy. The government has issued a statement saying they're not allowed to do it anymore. People are getting arrested. But it's become like this symbol of defying an oppressive country.
Well, okay. Let's be honest here. Winnie the Pooh is banned in China for a reason. Like Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh is considered it's considered what's the word I'm looking for? Subversive.
You're mocking the president. No, you're mocking the president if you have Winnie the Pooh. If you post anything about it. Because a comedian likened him to Winnie the Pooh.
Yes.
And so if you post it in any way, shape, or
considered subversive. It's considered subversive because of the parody. Because
you're right.
Clamp down on it as much as possible. And it's Winnie the Pooh. So it's like, in One Piece, I can see it. I mean, what about the Guy Fawkes mask being adopted by Anonymous? Like, there's been a lot of pop culture that's kind of been taken up by political movements. I think the Guy Fawkes mask is a good example of that, but that's just me. I don't know. But the One Piece flag, that's still pretty cool. Okay. Panel 1. What are we going to do for panel 1?
I'm just noodling, so...
Okay. So where we left off was the mushroom cleanses the mycelium network. So we have Venom in Charm School. Philo has just been devenomized. To my knowledge, the dog is still a bone hound. We had the Disney fish snooping around. We could still do something with them.
It's been a while since we saw them.
Yeah, and Mushroom is still a Swamp Thing. There's a lot of directions we could go.
Wouldn't it be cool if John Constantine popped in for a second? Just a second.
What would he do?
He has a cigarette off to the corner and then disappears.
What would he do?
Nothing. That's the whole point. It's absurd to have John Constantine show up. But he was in the original Swamp Thing.
Yes, that's true. He did show up in the original Swamp Thing. Was Constantine... He was in Swamp Thing, but I'm trying to remember what other comics he was in that he just kind of showed up in. I think he was in Sandman, too. I think think
Yep.
he showed up in that one.
And also, like, his great grandmother showed up in that one too.
So, okay, so we could have a John Constantine panel.
I don't know. It'd be funny. I think it's funny, but you don't have to do that.
But would it be a mushroom version of John Constantine?
That's a good question. We should ask chat what they think,
Chat,
or
would it be a
we can
mushroom
ask
version?
Buckminster Crabtree what he thinks.
I like it. A John Constantine mushroom.
Yeah, John Constantine is mushroom. I think that's good.
Just a mushroom with a giant trench coat and a blonde pompadour
Yeah.
and a cigarette dangling from his lip.
And I think the caption should just be Mushroom John Constantine shows up.
And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, and so if Mushroom John Constantine shows up, all this cleansing of the mycelium network, I imagine, would be like magic on the mushroom planet. Right? So
That's probably why Constantine showed up. Maybe he felt like a powerful surge in the magic mushroom network.
That's what I'm thinking, is that he's, you know, like you can't do this. Like, you're messing with stuff. There was
No, you don't think he? I thought he'd help the mushrooms rid themselves of the taint of venom. But your idea is good too. Because that's a whole different way of looking at it. Where he's like, no, you're gonna wreck the time-space continuum, or the balance of life, or the balance of the mushroom world.
I would
Because
say
he does do that.
I would say Mushroom John. Give me one quick second. I gotta talk to my
Child
daughter.
emergency.
Thank you. Let's see. Mushroom John scolds our group.
The mushroom leader, isn't it? Because the group's not the one doing it. It's just the mushroom guy, or mushroom guy. Right? Am I wrong?
Well, the venom was the one that venomized all the mycelium. And then our mushroom guy cured the mycelium by devenomizing it, right? So the whole thing would be a disruption. So it's like, I imagine that it would be just like, we don't want your kind here.
All of you, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay.
Yeah.
So
then,
Constantine would be sardonic. He'd be like, boy, you guys really bungled this one, didn't you? Time for you to go.
Yeah, and then don't forget to put in the caption. Daniel. Yes. Thank you.
Well, what is his caption? Mushroom Constantine shows up because of the surge in the magic mushroom force, or the magic mushroom network.
I think just shows up.
Right. Mushroom Constantine.
What's the spelling of Constantine?
Constantine.
C-O-N-S.
Constantine. I-N-E. So it's the word constant, I-N-E. And according to Alan Moore, it was pronounced Constantine.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm terrible with pronouncing things, so I wouldn't be surprised. How much I've gotten wrong in life.
Now I gotta look up a picture of John Constantine.
It's Sting. Just draw Sting.
Oh yeah, because that's who he based him after, right?
Right.
Okay, what is that? I think that's the music trying to be funky. Yeah, that was
White
the
noise
music.
for the ADHDs. White noise for the ADHDs.
Yeah, I think that was the yeah, there we go. Okay.
Nice. Starting to sound like one of those old internet dial-up connections there.
The memories. Back then, when computers used to scream when you connected them to the internet. Gosh, when were you first online, Daniel?
Oh, God. 1995-ish? 94, 95?
To me, the internet started for me in 95, but like in 94, I was like on BBSs and stuff. So,
Yep.
like, does that count as the internet?
Well, it
You know
was
what
the
I mean?
internet. It just wasn't the internet as
Yeah.
we know it. It was more
Yeah.
peer-to-peer.
But then, like, I
Jesus,
remember
yes.
moving to Vancouver and discovering eBay and just going crazy. And this is such a funny story. But if I've told this story before, please let me know because I hate repeating myself. So my first foray into eBay, this was 1995, and I was buying romance comics at the time because I love romance comics. And I was looking online, going, "Oh my god, there's all these people from around the world on this eBay thing. I can find romance comics. Oh my god!" So I found this 4-issue miniseries called what's it called? I forgot, but it was done by. It's something Love. I want to say it's New Love, but it's not. I have my phone here. I can look it up. But anyways, I like these romance comics, but they come and they're actually like from the 60s underground. And the first issue is about these two guys who get out of jail and like all the stuff that they're doing as they're out of jail in the 60s. They're like doing drugs, getting high, going to find sex, Then the second issue is like this protest story all in rhyme. Like it's amazing, like really, really good. I really loved them in the end, but I was just like, when I got them, I was like, oh my god, these are not romantic.
This wasn't what I thought they would be.
And instantly, that would be my first foray into the 60s underground scene. And the guy that did those comics did a Fantagraphics pornographic comic called Doll.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember that one.
I remember seeing like covers for it somewhere, but I don't think I ever picked it up. But
here it is. Guy Colwell. Okay, I got his name. Guy Colwell is the artist who did those romance comics that were not romance comics. He's still alive. He's 80 years old. He lives in Oakland. Inner City Romance. That's what they were called. Inner City Romance. And they were great. They were really great. But
are
they
there
were
like stories of like people doing acid and then having sex in those comics? Like,
maybe?
I want to say, was it that comic? There's an old underground comic that was like from the 60s where they were doing that, and then like the guy's staring into a plant, and it's just zooming in and zooming in and zooming in as he's like staring into a plant.
I don't know that, but that sounds like a typical comic for that time period.
I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to give John Constantine eyes in the mushroom version.
They can go away easy enough.
Well, I just feel like
Here, look. Here's the here's the cover for the first issue of Inner City Romance.
Okay.
Anyways, that was my first foray into eBay, and it was an interesting lesson. But that was in 1995.
Let's see. My first foray into eBay, I sold and traded in magic cards. And so I ended up having like a couple cards sell for really like good money, and they ended up paying for a couple semesters in my junior college.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's you.
Yeah, and like years later, I had a guy going, "Oh, this card wasn't even worth more than that." And it's like, dude, I sold it on eBay, and like what people are willing to pay for is what people are willing to pay for.
Supply and demand, baby. Supply and demand. I mean, my dad is always like, "Why are you selling your collection? Your cards so much money, BBB." And I'm like, supply and demand. I can look at this book and say, to me, it has a shit ton of value because of this reason and this reason. But unless there's another buyer out there who believes the same thing as me and is willing to pay the price that I think it's worth, then it's worth it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus, I always tell them, I'm like, if I get rid of it and I decide I want it again, I'm going to be paying double to triple what I originally paid. Why would I get rid of it? But, you know, I do go through my collection every so often and I call. The problem is I haven't found anyone yet that I trust to sell my collection to. Like, in every city I've ever lived in, I've always had, like, a comic store guy, you know, that, you know, I trust them and I know that they're not going to, like, rip me off. And I mean, I don't expect, like, a high sum of money for my stuff at all. And I usually want trade, which is even better for them. But, yeah, like, I have to be able to trust the person. And I haven't found anyone here yet like that. Although there's a really, 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 really good comic book store in Buffalo. And Buffalo is very close to where I live. It's called Gutter Pop. It's really good. It's all like alternative and indie stuff. And it's super, super, super girl friendly. It's awesome.
But you'd have to cross into the dreaded Americas.
Yeah, I was talking to a taxi driver the other day, and he was asking why I just don't go, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I just don't agree with the politics, so I don't really want to just go. I'm sorry. But every time I've gone to the States, I've had a really good time, you know, like, I'm not dissing the States in any way. Like, I have very fond memories of my time at San Diego, my time in Portland, my time, driving along the coast of the Pacific Coast. Being in Buffalo, I had a great time. Anytime I go to American City, I always pick something really cool to do and find really neat things to do. So I'm never really disappointed. Like, I even went to Cleveland and had a great time. And I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm by myself. And I'm not going to meet anyone. I'm just like going and hanging by myself. So, yeah, I'm not dissing that country. I just don't want to. I don't want to get embroiled in any kind of quagmire because I've read too many stories about, like, that one I just read about the Korean church student who had a literal legal visa. Yeah. And she still got taken. You know,
I know. It's scary down here.
They can come up. You know, it's the same reason I don't go back to China right now. Because China, like, after they took the 2 Canadian guys, and they were making up all these different reasons. Like, it's ridiculous. It's like, they cannot be guilty of all these things, right? It was only a retaliation for us arresting the daughter of the owner of Huawei phones or whatever. Yeah. And they took them and they kept them and they tortured them. They could have killed them if they wanted to because the Chinese government is beholden to no one. So, like, I know now, it's totally different from when I was there before. This is not as safe as it used to be if they could just make up any reason to take anyone. So, I'm not equating the U.S. to China. I'm just saying that I feel a lot safer up here. So I'm going to stay up here for a while. Sorry.
No, you don't have to explain it to me. Believe me, I understand.
Hey, so Kay has us both beat. She was first on in 1987. She met her first pick-up online at 2 a.m. at the St. Paul Technical College School Board. Nice. Well, I found this great book. It's written by one of the editors of Wired. I forget what it's called. I have it in my collection. I should just go look. But it was written in the 80s, and it's about the history of computers. And because it was written in the 80s, like, it's an actual finite amount of information. And it's so fascinating, like, how detailed they get into, like, just, like, how, like, the first BBSs, like, bulletin board systems were, like, in California in the 60s and 70s. They had like just like simple computer, like, you know, almost like a community board, but it was on the computer, right? Crazy.
Should I add a word balloon?
I think so. It would be cool if John Constantine is the only one talking in our whole series. Because has anybody else talked the whole time we've been doing these 80 episodes?
Yeah, we've had a few word balloons. We've had Philo say like it's over to Pluto. We've had like
that was an epic moment.
Yeah, they're not very, very common, but we have had word balloons. We have had like no and guilty, and you know, we have had a few word balloons. So
I think Constantine should talk.
Nature.
Sorry?
That's what he's gonna say. It's against the laws of nature.
All right, sounds good.
It's against.
So, Mr. Mr. Crabtree, are you working on anything new these days?
Who, me?
No,
or Daniel.
Daniel, Daniel, you listed your name as Buckminster Crabtree, so I'm just going along with the gag.
Buckminster Crabtree. DDS.
Are you working on anything new these days?
No, not really. My own stuff, but nothing for anybody else.
Well, that's a good thing to be working on your own stuff.
I just got tired of being chased around by editors or vice versa.
If I say nature, would it be like Nata?
But he's British. Are you being like Cockney?
No, I'm just trying to like nature. Like, would it be NAT? I guess.
NAT hyphen CHUH. Yeah.
No, I'll just spell it
nature. Okay. It's kind of funny though, because one of the things about John Constantine that's pretty freaking constant is how he goes against the laws of nature.
Yeah. All the time.
Get it? Constantine?
Let's see. We'll do this.
1987. How old was I in 1987? Well, 85 was 10. 5, 6, 7. So 12. I was 12 years old. 1987.
I have to decide what I want to do with this other antenna. Do I want to draw it in? I'll do it like this. I'll do it like this. So his other antenna is like hiding behind him. Okay, there we go.
Antenna. That's such a great word.
All right, there we go. And then I'll do this. Bam!
Daniel, have you ever done any magic cards?
I didn't do magic. I did DC Versus series. I did a bunch for some real small companies. Shadow Fist.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what happened to those. I've got them somewhere.
Because your art really seems to lend itself to those kind of really dynamic moments.
Magic's tough to get into.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Why do you have to be
I guess
connected?
there's a lot of competition, eh?
There's a lot of competition, and there's a lot of work that goes into a card for them. There's preliminary, and there's post preliminary, and then there's sign off sketches. So you're doing a sketch, you send that in, then you do a mock up color, just a basic flat color, and then you get that approved, and then you do the full color painting, and then any changes, that's great. Let's move the arm. Let's cant his head this way. So you end up doing it over again. It's a lot of work that goes into it for, maybe $1,500 for a card.
Gosh, no wonder Wizards of the Coast were some of the first to try and adopt AI.
Would you say that Robert McGinnis is one of your influences?
Yes.
I'm looking at one of your James Bond images, and that's all. It screams McGinnis in its color. It's the chartreuse one. That one. I don't know. Yeah, that one there. It's that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just a huge James Bond fan.
Who's your favorite?
Probably Daniel Craig. Although I say
That's
that, Timothy Dalton for Bond was the first time I saw Bond as dangerous.
Yeah.
Because it's always been, campy and the shtick and, it's the one-liners when you off somebody, and Bond was actually dangerous.
Yeah. For me, it was the same for me with Dalton, but the thing was I was living in Germany during the Cold War at the time, so I was like, I totally understood the intensity of what was happening in that movie. And I think the first, for me, I have this belief the first one you see is the one you really gravitate towards. But you totally disproved that theory by picking Daniel Craig, which is kind of interesting. But Timothy Dalton is my favorite.
Favorites, I would go with Daniel Craig, but number 2 would be a very close second, would be Timothy Dalton. He only had 2 movies, and the second of the 2 was okay. Living Daylights, I like a lot.
I used to get derided all the time for saying he was my favorite, but now lately it seems like there's some kind of renaissance.
Yeah. I don't know where they're going to go with it now.
I want him to be either black or a woman. I think that would be so excellent. Or a black woman.
I'm okay with either one.
The thing is I really love this character, Modesty Blaze. I don't know if you've ever heard of her.
I love Modesty Blaze. I have like 3 volumes.
Nice.
Of Modesty Blaze. Yeah. I love the art in Modesty Blaze. It's so good. The movie, the 1960s movie, kind of a miss. But the art in those comics, and it was a strip. Have you ever seen the movie How to Kill Your Wife with Jack Lemmon?
No.
Anyway, it's about this guy who accidentally marries this Italian woman who popped out of a cake at a party, right? And he's like, oh man, I was this, bachelor and stuff, and he does this comic about this secret agent, and I think the artwork was done by Wally Wood in the movie. Anyway, the comic strip was based on Modesty Blaze in the movie. It's just, anyway, I went off on a tangent.
That's okay.
Well, I really found after reading all the Modesty Blazes I could get my hands on that she was a way cooler character than James Bond, and I wish to God that they would make her into a movie or a TV show of value. The only time I ever saw anything that even came even a smidgen close to having that same kind of feeling as those books and comic strips was when Angelina Jolie did Salt. I mean, it wasn't exactly the same, but it was just kind of like just this woman who had like amazing, fantastic martial arts and was quick on her feet, but also was just kind of like blasé about a lot of things. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't exactly like Modesty Blaze, but it was just like it had sort of the essence a bit. Because I haven't seen anything that comes close to as cool and interesting as those books and comic strips are.
And she used her sexiness as a weapon. A lot of I guess you could call them girl bosses of today. They defeminize them. And a lot of women, they'll make him as strong as a man, be able to fight a guy and take him down physically in a fight, no problem, in a movie. And women just simply aren't as strong as men.
What was Charlene's?
A woman should take down a man in a movie with a gun.
What was Charlize Theron?
With the environment around her.
Atomic Blonde?
Atomic Blonde. That one shot fight scene in the apartment building was great.
Yeah, I have to see it again. I think I saw it in the theater when it came out, and it's been a while. I really need to see it again. But I know what you mean. She is very good at almost everything she does. I quite like Charlize Theron. I mean, even when she was in Arrested Development, like that was like surprisingly hilarious.
Don't forget, she was the original. Oh gosh, I can see it in my head. With the eye and the fly. Liquid Television.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Aeon Flux.
Aeon Flux, yes. She was the original Aeon Flux. Yes. Why can't my brain remember things?
Preaching to the choir on that one.
I think I'm done with this panel.
Yeah, this has got more work to do it, but it gets where I want to go with it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll you know to turn it in when.
Okay.
When
I don't know if we're trying to be like responsible cartoonists, but quite honestly, you cannot be John Constantine without a cigarette.
Okay.
From the clip.
Okay.
I mean, you can put a disclaimer and say we're being responsible and we've removed the cigarette, but there's got to be some mention of cigarette.
No, I will add a whole layer of just a cigarette just for you. Okay?
There's a cigarette flying out of his mouth.
Perfect. That's perfect. Perfect.
I'll add a whole layer of just a cigarette just for you.
Thank you. It's for him. I mean, he even got cancer and he didn't stop smoking. So come on. Know your character.
Confession, I've never read a Constantine a book.
You know, there's quite a lot of good writers and artists that have worked on it that I admire a lot and like a lot, like Garth Ennis and Alan Moore. But I didn't actually read a Constantine comic until Richard Corbin and Brian Azzarello had him go to jail. And it was so good. I was just like blown away. I couldn't stop reading it. It was really, and I just kept reading it after that. And you know, and then he showed up in my favorite TV series a while ago, which was that DC Legends of Tomorrow. And he was great in that. That actor, Matt Smith, I think that's his name, was excellent. He was excellent as John Constantine. He was the perfect embodiment. Like, I couldn't ask for anyone else. And he was great in that series for a while.
Sorry to interrupt. This panel 1.
You were on panel 1, now you are on panel 3.
Right, okay.
I'm on panel 4. So we had John Constantine Mushroom show up.
And then he's told them off, and now is he going to punish them, or is he going to what's he going to do? I don't know. I think chat should contribute, even though it seems like only Kay is here.
Come on, chat.
What about Shy Hermit Crab or Rapid Punches?
Yes, come on, chat. Help me.
Oh, hey, wow. There's a Philo emoji.
Yes, I added emotes.
Nice.
I added emotes.
Nice.
Can we see them? Yes, we can see them. Oh, excellent. Yeah, Shy Hermit Crab was in earlier, and so that's why you see the Shy Hermit Crab chat. And so I don't know if Shy Hermit Crab is in right now. But yes, if I go into my chat, if I go into over here and I go to Stream Manager, I can, here, let me show you all the emojis that I made, the emotes that I made. Oh gosh.
But only they can use them, not like us.
Because we're in Restream, we don't have access to them unless we are in Twitch. So you have to actually be like signed into Twitch
Got
to
it.
have access to them.
Makes sense. I mean, that's where the icon is, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so, here, let me put them all up. I'll put them all up. Okay, there's low base guy. There's global. There they are. Okay. So this, I have a couple of animated ones. I got a Sponse. I got a Philo. I added Olive Oil's head, which I think is funny. I did a couple of
Where are we seeing this?
We're gonna see them in a second.
Oh, okay. Ah, hi. Yeep. Whoa. That's scary, Olive Oil's head.
Yeah, so that's all of them.
Thanks.
I added all those yesterday. I have one more space for one more animated one.
Very cool.
But yes, what happens after Mushroom John Constantine shows up? We still have a bone dog. Orthodox cross.
Well, Constantine's holding one in
Yeah, Orthodox cross. Russian Orthodox.
Russian Orthodox. Okay. So, is he gonna like smite them? Is he gonna do a
exorcise them? An exorcism?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
go back to where you came from, right?
Right.
So then it should be Constantine Mushroom talking in Latin?
So he talks in Latin. Maybe that's your caption, Daniel.
Okay.
He talks in Latin, and then it's just la 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 la. And then
How about he starts casting in Latin?
Casting in Latin. Ooh. And then
Or spell casting,
I guess
right?
my panel would be he banishes them to where they came from.
Sure.
Okay.
Good. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Tay.
Team banishes to whence they came, because that sounds to me a little bit more John Constantine. You know, whence versus to where they came from.
I'm going to do a really Canadian thing. Talk about the weather. How's it going out there?
Hot.
'Cause I'm in a heat wave.
Hot.
Same here.
Oh, man.
Hot. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Standard color set. Okay.
I was hoping I could live vicariously through your reasonable weather.
No, it's hot as hell here.
Today was Annabelle's first day of school.
Wow, it's so early.
We're weird down here. She did not want to go to school at all this morning. No, I just want to sleep. And then, of course, when we pick her up, that was wonderful. I loved it. I want to go back.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
So, thinking like. So, I guess Philo and the gang are going through another portal. Without the venom this time, and without
but this time it's a magical portal, so maybe it's like unicorns and Care Bears on the other side.
Let's see.
A land of mythical creatures.
But it's whence they came, so that's where they came from, right?
Yeah, but John Constantine never gets anything right. That's the whole. What is it? Mise en scene about him? No, that's his whole MO. He fucks it up.
Did you ever read the Dresden Files from Jackson, or not Jackson, but I'm trying to remember the author's name. Dresden Files.
Sounds familiar.
About a wizard. They made a short series on sci-fi about it, about a wizard that's like ostracized from the magic world. I always considered it kind of a knockoff of John Constantine.
Yeah, but see, the thing is John Constantine is kind of a bit of a shit sometimes, and that's what happens. Like, one of his main story arcs is like, I think he accidentally sent his best friend's daughter to hell.
But he's always accidentally sending people to hell.
But he's very charming, and he always gets his way in the end, and that's why Jail was so interesting, because he was punishing himself. Buckminster Crabtree, would you like to answer the question of who you are?
Who am I? How long you got?
Daniel Scott Gabriel Murray. Maybe I should add a rule that says use your real name.
Beautiful covers and paintings. Beautiful paintings, which is the reason why I thought about magic, because a lot of my favoriteest artists do stuff like their work. Like this really epic fantasy, but lush style. Everyone's just gorgeous. I love it. I really like it. And your colors too are quite interesting. Like, I was going to ask you how you choose them, but I'm like, it's not hard to choose Supergirl's colors, but you add, like, I know you probably use like a lot of like you do most of it on the computer, right? Like, I'm not saying you use AI. I'm just saying that you use brushes and stuff.
There's a program called Rebel, which is a digital paint simulator, which I really, really like.
And it gives like really gorgeous depth and textures to your paintings.
Thank you. It's a great piece of software, and for not a lot of money.
Do you have your own brushes though?
I've made my own, yes.
Amber, would you use his brushes?
Absolutely.
They're nothing special.
He's a brush addict, I would say. Not that that's a bad thing at all. That's a cool
I have so many freaking brushes. It's true.
And you employ them really well. I love seeing what brushes you're gonna whip out.
Little story about translator bot here. I dropped into the maker of this bot's chat the other day on Twitch, and seeing what he's doing, and he's working on a new bot where he's trying to make a bot that can do all the things that Frosty Tools can do, and including the translator, other things and stuff. And I was like, "Ooh, can I make a request? Can it do this?" Right? And so as he's working on it, I see his little translator message come up on the new bot. And it's like 2 sentences. And I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome. I love the new message." And he jumped down my throat and said, "Now's not the time to complain." And I'm like, "I'm not complaining. I was like complimenting it." But in the past, I've like the message is too long. And so I guess it was not the time to talk about the message.
Well, you're probably not the only one to complain about it. He's like, "I finally addressed it. Get off my back."
Yeah, and I was like, "I'm not complaining. I said it was good." Like, it's like, dude.
Lucky Kay, she's living in the low 80s where she is. She says it's cooler.
Lucky her.
And she also says, "Whoa, congratulations." I don't know what that's for. Maybe because you have your own brushes?
maybe.
Okay, if you could elaborate on what the congratulations was for, we would appreciate it. Thank you. Now, Daniel, you've been on the show before, and I'm afraid of asking the same questions. Have I asked you about what schools you went to when you were a young artiste?
I went to Philadelphia College of Art in 1980, which is now Moore College. And I did a couple of semesters there. And then it was during the Reagan era, and financially I got all screwed up. And I left there and went out on my own and did stuff, played rock and roll, and then started a family, and then went into law enforcement because there was a job open and I needed a job.
You were a cop?
That's when I met him.
25
Wow.
years.
Yeah.
Well, see, it's a good thing weed's legal in Canada. You can't do nothing.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, he's not a cop anymore.
My mantra is yeehaw, fuck the law.
Right.
Yeah.
It was what I did. It's not who I am. That's a good way to put it.
Oh, okay. That's a good way of putting it, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because, like, when I was growing up, and even when I was a teenager up until I lived in Sault Ste. Marie, I was always taught that, like, the police were there to kind of help you, like, to be your friend, and, like, if there was an emergency, they would help you, right? And even in Vancouver, they were very helpful, but then when I moved to Montreal, they were awful. To the extent that I apologized to, like, my cousins that were visiting because they were just harassing people. Like, I'd been in marches against them because they just, like, killed people, like, seemingly indiscriminately. Like, they're awful power trippers in Montreal. Those cops were the worst cops I'd ever met.
Never had to shoot anybody. Got real damn close on very good number of occasions.
Well, that's a good feeling. I don't know what it's like. Even my dad, he was a soldier, right? And he did peacekeeping tours in Cyprus, but for him also, he's never had to shoot anybody.
I have plenty of friends who've shot folks.
Yeah, not something I think I would want to do. Like, that's one reason why I never became a cop, because it's like, you don't know if you're coming home that day.
Well, that does happen.
I feel guilty about the stupidest, dumbest, slightest thing. How do you think I'm going to feel if I accidentally shoot the wrong person? Like, God, I just couldn't. I can't even kill spiders!
Oof. Like, I just discovered a new YouTube channel called This Aged Well. Are you guys familiar with it?
I'm not familiar with that, no.
Oh,
I'm curious, so please tell us more.
It is two guys looking back at old movies, right? And talking about like the modern lens.
That's a rich landscape.
And I don't want to spoil anything.
No, you don't have to.
Song.
We do it when we watch old movies ourselves.
This is the theme song to their show. The past was doing its best. Leave it alone. Right? You have to watch this channel on YouTube. It's hilarious.
What's it called again?
It's called This Aged Well. And
I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, some of the videos are just trailers for their Patreon videos. And they're only 3 minutes, but the 10-minute videos are so funny. Like, they have a 4-part video for Police Academy.
Nice.
So they did 40 minutes.
Those are awful. I loved them when I was a kid, but they're awful.
But that's just it, is they break them down, right? But they're comedians, right? So they talk about the wrong morals you're getting out of these movies.
Yes, exactly.
Right? They do Soul Man.
Okay, so it's not called This Aged Well. It's called This Aged Great.
Oh, This Aged Great. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the internet corrected me. I looked up well.
Yeah. But they kid in school. Yeah, my kid is in school. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Breakfast Club. That's Like, I read an interview recently with Molly Ringwald, and she was watching it with her daughters, and she was like, yeah, so, this is kind of bad. She had to, like, have a big conversation with her kids. Meanwhile, everyone in my generation is like, oh, this is the greatest ever.
Yeah.
And I'm not, like, judging, because I totally am that girl. Like, I'm not saying that I'm not, like, oh, yeah, I'm so above it all. No. I was all in with the Breakfast Club. All in.
The old Warner Brothers stuff is great, but it didn't age well at all.
Yeah. It's they do the 80s. They do movies from like the 40s and the 50s. They do like the thoroughly modern Millie.
Yeah,
right?
I'm looking at that right now.
And they talk about the racism of the Chinese and thoroughly modern Millie. And they talk about like Breakfast at Tiffany's and the racism of the Chinese and Breakfast at Tiffany's. Yeah. Right? And so they were like for example, they're talking about that song, Breakfast at Tiffany's, and how the song is about the reason why the name of that song is because that was the last hi Tangent. That it was the last movie that guy was watching with his girlfriend before she broke up with him, right? And so these two guys are talking with each other, and he's like, well, was your girlfriend Asian? Is that why she broke up with you? Because she didn't like the portrayal of Asian people in this movie? Like, you know, maybe that's why your girlfriend broke up with you. It's funny, yeah. You know, because again, they're going back and breaking it apart. And so I just think it's funny. It made me laugh.
I'll have something to watch tonight.
Yeah.
One of my brother's favorites is the one that's How It Should Have Ended.
Oh,
and I remember he showed me a bunch of them, and my favorite one was the District 9 one, where it's like, how it should have ended. You're all fucking racists! And then they come back, the aliens come back and destroy the planet. I was like, yeah, that's kind of how it should have ended.
Yeah. There's a bunch of those where it's like Darth Vader realizing that he has kids, you know, at the end of Empire Strikes Back, right? He's like, I got kids? And then he's showing him, he's like, I got kids! Yeah. Look, they survived! I got kids! Yeah.
Alimony, or what is alimony? No, when it's kids, what is it? Alimony is going to be horrendous.
Yeah. How It Should Have Ended is pretty good. And then, gosh, I'm trying to think what else, movie-wise. But the This Age Great is my new binge watch that I've just been going through and laughing at these guys' comments because they're comedians. So they're going places that like are a little ooh for some people, and me being, you know, working in a comedy club, I'm like, oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much that you guys went there.
I like is watching really relatively young people watch Blazing Saddles for the first time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great movie.
It is a great movie, but yeah, it's or people who've never seen A Clockwork Orange for the first time.
Yeah. And
here's the thing, okay? Bill Hader did a interview where he broke down A Clockwork Orange, and he nailed it. And after hearing this interview, I rewatched it, and I'm like, that's it. That's exactly why I hate this movie. It's the male gaze. A Clockwork Orange is the male gaze. That's why early in the movie, all the girls are super sexy, doing super sexy things, right? He can do no wrong and stuff. And then like when he gets kicked out by his family, it's playing this like the little violin song that you would play, you know, because he's the hero of his own story, right? You know, oh no, woe is me, I got kicked out, right? But he's this horrible person. He's done all these horrible things. And as an objective observer, you know he's done these horrible things, but you're watching him tell his version of the story through his point of view, which is the male gaze. And so yeah, it was a fascinating breakdown of the film, but like I have a love-hate relationship with that movie because every time I watch it, it makes me upset. It makes me so upset to watch that movie because it's such a good movie, and it kind of is supposed to make you upset. I think Kubrick wanted people to be upset watching that movie. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I just remember watching it as a teenager and then having Malcolm McDowell's echoing, "And what do you think happened next, brother?" like in my head for years.
At that Comic-Con when we met, that's where I met Malcolm McDowell too.
Yeah, that's right. He was there. Yeah, I think I would have probably talked to him about Generations, Star Trek Generations. And been like, you played the bad guy. What was it like to work opposite of Patrick Stewart? Not like Malcolm McDowell himself is not a legend.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Clockwork Orange is an interesting film. What do you guys think? Am I just like talking out my butt?
No, I haven't seen it in years though, so I have to look through it with different eyes now.
Yeah, I mean, we see things differently as adults, don't we? I saw it as a teenager. It was, speaking about the male gaze, it's so redundant because 95% of the movies out there, especially during that time period, were all male gaze. So I just don't see the need to talk about that aspect of it.
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating that it was a book first. A book that was very difficult to read because it had its own language.
Yeah.
So in my grade 13 English, it was dystopian literature. So we watched it and we discussed it. And I don't know if I'd ever want to talk to Malcolm McDowell. I mean, he's a really good actor, but I wouldn't really have anything to say to him except like, what was it like working on Tank Girl? Because that's kind of like the weirdest thing he's ever worked on.
I just go with, it's great to meet you. I've loved your work for years. I hope you're well.
Yeah, well, I don't need to talk to someone to say that.
You're getting a little muffled there, Daniel.
How about now?
Much better.
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, like, there's certain people I'd like to meet, but there's a lot. I'm not really caught up in that whole thing. Like, yeah, like I have some stories, and one of the reasons I used to do the radio show is so I could interview people and not come across as like a slobbering fangirl.
Yeah.
The interview gives it sort of legitimacy, and also, I did my research, and so they would see that I actually knew what I was talking about when I was talking to them, and so, it worked out really well. But I know a lot of people that go to those cons to get signatures and stuff, and it's not my scene. I have very few signatures in my collection. I maybe have 8. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something I go out of my way to get.
I have Sergio Aragones' signature, and that one I'm proud that I got. Because that one was just a conversation at his booth one year, and it wasn't like me bugging him like, hey, can you sign this? It was just us talking, and he had these free postcards with drawings that he did, and one of them had the Ramones. I want to say it was for Rolling Stone, and he did this drawing of the Ramones, and he put it on a postcard, and so he was giving them out for free. And so he flipped it over, and he signed it and did a little self-portrait of himself, and made it so that he was blushing, and gave it to me. And it's one of my prized possessions. I love it.
I would be framing that and hanging it on the wall.
Yeah, it's still, where it is right now is it's in one of my photo albums.
Safe and sound. Well, one of my big regrets is the year that I went to San Diego was 2000, and I saw that Bill Sinkovich was had a table there. He was, I think, part of some art group or something at the time.
Yeah.
So I went to his table, and he wasn't there. Nobody was there. The place was empty. So I went by like 4 or 5 times, and again, he wasn't there. No one was there. It got to the point where like the people around that table were starting to recognize me.
Yeah.
And so, and then they were like, look, he's going to show up. We promise. Like, he said he was going to come back at this time. You should come back at this time. Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess they told him about me. So I came up, and he was finally sitting there. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh, so nice to meet you. And he's like, yeah, I heard you've been coming by. I'm really sorry I haven't been around. Can I draw you something? Or really like to draw you something? And I was like, I just wanted to shake your hand and tell you how much.
Hey, no, that's not.
You're amazing. Okay, gotta go back. And then I just laughed.
Don't
And
feel
then I got a free
bad.
sketch.
Don't feel bad. That's just you being super excited to see one of your favorite artists.
It was a big deal for the year 2000.
Yes.
I'm sorry. He is certainly on another level, that guy. And like, I don't call many comic book artists by their first names, but with him, he will always be Billy the Sink. That's what Eddie Campbell calls him, and I think it's a great name.
Wait.
Billy
I gotta get rid of this guy. And abandoned. Okay. Sorry, he's gone. All right.
What was his malfunction?
No, it's just a bot.
Yeah, it's just advertising stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's do ink texture. Let's do this.
Hey, have you guys tried that Tidu app? It's
What
like
app?
supposed to replace Etsy.
What's the name of it?
No, I haven't used it.
It's like TEEDO. And like apparently like, what are they called? Like homemade, like people that do like, crafty things like that used to be on Etsy. Because Etsy's starting to take a lot of money and they've been getting some really lame rules. So I've heard from people that I know that use it. And,
well, it really supports people who have like 40 3D printers versus like someone who has like 2 3D printers.
I have 2.
I have none.
Well, but what I mean is, and I'm just using 3D printers as an example, right? Say somebody is a cross stitcher, right? And they have a pattern of cross stitch. And so they have this pattern. I will make this pattern of cross stitch for you. Well, there are factories of people doing cross stitch patterns, elsewhere in the world and doing those patterns and stuff. And they'll finish it in like 2 or 3 weeks. And it's like, yeah, we'll our turnaround is 2 or 3 weeks. And you think you're working with like a little small person, but you're actually working with this factory that's going to finish your little cross stitch. Right? Or finish your 3D print, or finish your book nook, or finish whatever it is that's supposed to be this handmade thing. And Etsy realized that they're making so much money off of these larger factory kind of setups that their behind the scenes back end kind of has been built to support that, and not the little guy that they originally kind of built their empire on.
Yeah, that's totally what their empire was built on.
And the little guy, the thing is like the little guy, yeah, okay, you may only be making 5 to 50 cents off of this one purchase, right? Versus the factory guy, where you're making 5 to 50 cents off of 40 purchases, right? But if you have 40 little guys versus that one big guy, those 40 little guys, they need a store too. And it
was the whole Diamond business model as well, right? Now Diamond's bankrupt, so.
Yeah. Oh, Diamond.
Apparently bought by a Canadian company. Woo!
Yep. Well, Diamond has been working with the same timber companies up in Canada for years.
Quebec
back when they used to do like printing and stuff.
Quebecois.
Oops.
Quebecois?
No, the printing company is Quebecois.
Oh,
Yeah.
But that is the language that they speak in French Canada, yes. And I'm a jerk because it's my subtle way of thumbing my nose to them by calling them French Canada. That's what they called them in South Park.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's hilarious. They want to separate so bad. They're so ignorant about it. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to call you Quebec. I'm going to call you French Canada. I got to see them live, Matt Stone and Trey Parker. And they did a bunch of their songs and they would take questions from the audience. And somebody asked them, like, why do you rag on Canadians so much? I might have told this story before. And I mean, the real answer is that they have a whole bunch of Canadian writers.
Yeah.
What?
I think their answer was like, because they can take it or something.
Well, no, that wasn't it. No, the real answer is they have a lot of Canadian writers, so the Canadians are basically ripping on themselves, which is really what the truth of it. But apparently what they would do is they would give a different answer every time. And then one time it was Scott Thompson from Kids in the Hall that asked them, and they answered, their answer at that time was, oh, because you're basically like an innocuous version of us. You know, like the innocuous American, you know what I mean? That's what Canadians are. And so I was like, I guess Scott Thompson got livid, and both Matt Stone and Trey Parker were like, that's how we're going to answer it from now on.
Yes, do you like that, Shy Hermit Crab?
Rob says that he's busy trying to wrangle a furniture delivery. That's why he was late to the party.
Yes.
And he says he's heard that Alberta and Saskatchewan are currently making noises about separating, but nobody's really taking them seriously, so I wouldn't. They think they have a leg to stand on because they have so much oil in that province, but like, you got to get more than 50% of the majority to even talk about it, and then they're not anywhere near that.
The only thing nice about Alberta are the roads. Have you subscribed for 2 months? Oh, thank you. That's very sweet of you, Shy. Thank you. Aww.
I would just like to point out that I, as a Canadian, did not say that about Alberta.
No, you did not. But me, an American who lived in Saskatchewan and traveled across Alberta at least 2 or 3 times, across the black sands of Alberta. The only nice thing about Alberta that I saw were the roads. I'm sure there's a lot of really nice people in Alberta. The cities seem just like cities that you would see in any other city or any other, province. They didn't seem remarkable or anything. The Black Sands were kind of fascinating just as a geological thing, just to see them stretching out to forever of like these swirling black sands, of like regular sand color and black sand color, and you could see where the oil companies had gone through them, had sifted through them, because the swirls weren't there where they sifted through them, and it was a lot lighter, and where they hadn't yet, it was all swirly, and you had these like huge swaths of black swirls and huge swaths of like light swirls, and it's cool. I don't know. It's neat.
I'm sorry to interrupt your train of thought there.
Yeah.
What's the text on this panel? I just have panel 3.
Panel 3 is he casts in Latin. Mushroom Constantine casts in Latin.
I have to write Latin here, yes.
Or you could put he casts a Latin spell.
Or he casts a Latin spell, yeah.
As he sends them on their way. Wow.
Let's see, there we go. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think what exciting is going on right now in the world of comics. Jay Fosgett, a friend of the show and former guest, has released issue 2 of Bodhi Troll. And from his press, his publication, which is Hamburger Press. And so that's available. And I'm trying to think what else is going on in the world of like Philo stuff. Real life.
You went to a really cool. It looked like, what was it? An Imaginarium or like a world? What was that place you went with your husband and your daughter?
Oh, Meow Wolf. Yeah, we went to.
I don't know what that is.
Meow Wolf.
Tell us. I can't be the only one.
Okay. Yes, I went to a Meow Wolf with my husband and daughter, which is basically a big giant fun house they pretend is a museum. And so it's an interactive art experience is what they call it.
Really cool.
And so they have tons of rooms on the inside that are all meticulously designed. And there's like secrets that you can do. You can like, when there's like a computer, you can mess with the computer and like uncover stuff. There's like an area upstairs where there's these things on the wall that you can press, and if everybody presses them all at the same time, it makes a noise. So I did that with my daughter with a bunch of strangers. There's like a room that opened up onto kind of a red landscape painted onto the walls, and then this video started going on about appropriation of Native American fashion and stuff in Hollywood and in modern pop and art and stuff like that. And so there's a room lecturing you on appropriation of Native American art. And then like I'm trying to think like all the other stuff that was in there. There's a big giant like tree house. There's a room that is kind of the epilepsy room, and I took pictures of my daughter and my husband in that room.
What was Annabelle's favorite? Which she liked the best?
She really seemed to enjoy the stuff that she could interact with, and they have this like cathedral downstairs that has a playable, I will just call it an instrument in the back. I do not know what kind of instrument you would call it, but it is an instrument of some kind. And you can pull these little handles, and it makes different kind of like electronica noises. And so depending on how you pull the handles, you can play the instrument.
Where was this?
This is Meow Wolf.
Where was
this is in Denver.
Okay.
And so she liked that. And then in the middle of the cathedral there's this wheel that you turn that turned the top of the cathedral. And so she liked to turn the wheel and then turning the top of the cathedral. And then depending on the orientation of the cathedral, would change the lights in the entire room.
Oh, that's cool.
And so, so she was like, there's a lot of other stuff in the room. There's other vehicles and stuff that people could sit in and everything like that. So she was changing the lights in the whole room with this wheel.
Yeah.
And so, so that was probably her favorite thing. I'm trying to think like what else. It's difficult to explain without just saying, well, you just kind of have to go there, which is why I explain it as a big giant fun house they pretend is a museum, because that's really what it is if you imagine all the Imaginarium stuff in the line before you get to the ride at Disneyland or Disney World, right? This is that stuff while you're waiting in line, but there's no line. You're just wandering around kind of a fantasy world that they've created. Like they have a pizza basement that is, you go downstairs and down into the basement, and they have like a pizza creature that, depending on the buttons that you press,
Jabba the Hutt.
Kinda.
Pizza the Hut. I mean,
it looks similar, but depending on the buttons that you press, you can make them say different things. And there is an art gallery on the main street when you first walk out of the elevator, that they rotate the artists' paintings that work at Meow Wolf. So the artists that work there, they'll like rotate their paintings in and out of this art gallery. And so I always like to go in the art gallery and see what the artists are like doing. And so it's a little tiny art gallery like on a street. There's rooms that you can go into. There's one that's like a Roman bath. And so you go in, and it's octangular, tiny little blue tiles. It's very quiet, plays like soothing music, and it's designed like this Roman bath from the olden days of Rome. This is one of my cats. This is one of my new kittens. This is Rowan. I have a cat on the screen.
Oh,
yes, that's Rowan.
Hi, Rowan.
And
Daniel, have you ever been in a place like that?
oh, talking to Daniel.
Oh,
Yeah, like a museum or an amusement park that's got so much variety like that. That's awesome.
not like that, no. I'd like to think my granddaughter's in it, though. It sounds like it's going to be a great place.
Oh,
you're
I
muffled
can hear
again.
you. Yeah.
Sorry, my microphone moves out of the way. Then it.
Is it spelled Mayowols, like mayonnaise and wolf?
No, meow, like a cat.
Meow wolf. Oh, okay, meow wolf. Okay.
And then wolf, as in like wolf. There's a few of them around the country.
Meow wolf. Cool. I gotta see if there's one in Toronto. I bet there is.
I think there's one in New York. I think there's one in Minneapolis.
Maybe they haven't come up to Canada yet.
I don't know, but it took me forever to convince Ian to go. He just didn't see like any merit in it, and I'm like, no, like we're gonna see our daughter's light, face light up. Like this is worth it. And once
That's the reason right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and once
exactly.
we went in, then he was like, yeah, this was worth it.
Nice. No, there's none in Canada. I can't go.
Oh. Unless, are there any in maybe Europe?
No, it's American.
Well, I didn't know if, maybe it was French or something. I think I'm done with this panel of them. Mushroom Constantine banishes them to whence they came.
Oh, they had one in Dallas. Well, long after I'd been there, though.
Hello, little cats. Are you bugging me again? You want to be back up on Philo?
So there's one in Santa Fe. There's one in Las Vegas. There's one in Denver. There's one in Texas. So Grapevine, Texas, and one in Houston, Texas, and one in Los Angeles. That's it.
Here.
Oh, babies! Look at the fuzzy babies!
Yeah, I got double kitten action.
Right.
Double kitten action going on here. There's a story there.
A long sordid tale.
Yeah, a long sordid tale. Yes. Okay.
Two cats left alone to their own device.
Okay, so you're still working on that panel, right?
Oh yeah, I'll go back and rework it like all the other ones I've done.
Yeah, we got only 10 minutes left, so I'll take up panel 5.
Okay.
And then that way you can just work on making that panel look good.
Do you want to plug anything, Daniel?
No. I got nothing to plug.
Do you do
pretty-
commissions at all?
Not anymore. I used to do those, and it was a lot of work, but I didn't have a lot of time, and I couldn't put the effort I want into it. So I might do it once I fully retire, hopefully this year. Retire.
Have you done one that's been your favorite?
Commission?
Yeah.
I did a Thor that I'm really happy with. That was an actual painting. I wish I got a picture of it somewhere. I don't have it, but I could access quickly.
What medium did you do? Like oil or watercolor or
Acrylic.
acrylic?
Yeah.
So, okay, so the last panel was them getting sucked into a magic portal. What happens next?
Well, do we focus in on what the conclusion with Constantine and the rest, or do we focus in on where they land?
Venom's in Charm School. Do they land in Charm School?
No, I think we should leave Venom for a little bit.
Okay,
Just
we
a
should
little
leave
bit.
Venom alone. Okay.
Just a little bit. You've got to learn some charm.
Let's see. So if it's like a magical land, then maybe they come out like Dungeons and Dragons characters.
That's a
In the
thought.
but do they end up in a dungeon?
I don't know. I have 8 minutes. I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to be able to do this.
Well, that's what I think we should maybe just focus on the conclusion of Constantine. Like, just... Oh, Kate says beardo phone. I don't know what that means.
Well, wait a second. Okay. Constantine dialogue panel. Let's see if I can find a dialogue panel of him. Like talking to himself. A good Hellblazer. Let's see. Not in Minneapolis. Gosh. I have no idea what to do for this last panel.
I think it should be like him dusting off his hands. He's done. He finished his work.
Just him grabbing a beer and a smoke.
Sure. Or that's a great idea. Going up to a bar with the other mycelium, just like, well, we made short work of that, didn't we?
My work here is done.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, we'll do that. I still have cats crawling all over me. I still have kittens.
I'm sorry. You could just give them to me. I will take those cats and let them crawl all over me.
Yes, there's a story there. Let's see. Okay, my work here is done. Let's do this, and then let's do and cigar bed. Oh, okay, I'll do this. Let's see if I can do this in 5 minutes.
I have faith. You can do it.
I can do it.
You're much faster than I am.
South Park becoming the new Zeitgeist in political conversation, eh?
The what? I'm sorry?
The new Zeitgeist in political conversation. What was
Yeah.
it like when he first got elected? It was Teen Vogue that had everyone's ear because they were like so succinct in what they had to say about everything. Now it's South Park.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what gets me is the fact that like Stephen Colbert got canceled, and then South Park seems to be able to do no wrong. And everyone says, oh, but they've already signed the contract, right? But so did like Stephen Colbert. His was up for renewal. They just didn't renew his contract, right?
Right.
The South Park guys waited for their contract to be signed. They signed a 10-year contract. Paramount had to know South Park was going to go after people. They had to know because it's South Park. They go after everybody. A 10-year contract they signed, right? They had to know. So why is it that South Park can do no wrong and Stephen Colbert gets fired, right? It's just, I don't know. It's just, Stephen Colbert is making them just as much money.
No, he's not. They've actually shown that those late night shows are losing the network money. Whereas South Park is making them a shit ton of money right now.
Now, those late night shows, numbers can be manipulated. Those late night shows are losing money in the original markets of television broadcast over the airwaves, because very few people are watching television broadcast over the airwaves. Where they are gaining money is through streaming services, through clips and streaming on YouTube, through clips and streaming on like TikTok and Instagram and other places, where they stream the whole episode on Hulu, and they stream it on Paramount, and they stream it on a few other streaming services the day after the show originally airs on broadcast television, right? So when they're presenting the numbers, and they're saying when they're presenting the numbers, and they're saying, look at these numbers and how dismal they are, they're presenting only the airwave numbers. They are not presenting any of the streaming numbers, which, if you include those, show that they're making just as much money as South Park,
if not more,
for their airwave numbers. Now, South Park, on the other hand, has very explicit wording and verbiage in their contracts that there's no streaming of clips or episodes of their stuff to YouTube or like Twitch or places like that. They stream to Hulu and they stream to Paramount, right? They have the original broadcast and then they have those two streams, but they don't stream any clips to YouTube. And so they don't have that ad revenue, and they don't have anything else from like the YouTube bits, because they're trying to limit like what people can see. And so it's this weird like balance back and forth where they're getting all this ad revenue from like YouTube, but they're not counting it, right? And it's like they're benefiting from that ad revenue, but they're not counting it, and it's dishonest, you know, to say, oh no, this is a business decision, this is a financial decision, right? It's so dishonest, you know. The same thing with Seth Meyers. You know, they were talking about canceling his show too, and he was the one. It was his writers that went in and proved everything with the streaming numbers. And so when they put in their pitch, I want to say like a year ago, about how their streaming stuff was like making all this fucking money for NBC, like NBC had to back off and say, okay, we're not going to cancel your show. You really are kind of making us money. And that's also why they let him do the corrections thing, is because all of those ads on there is just making them money. you can manipulate numbers. You have to read where the numbers are coming from. And broadcast numbers have been dismally dying since the starting of streaming services. And they've been steadily going down. But if you only count those numbers, they're always going to look bad because they've always been going down.
Spot the girl who's done her homework.
I used to work in television. I worked in quality control for Outdoor Channel and for that's what Rob got it. But I used to work in the quality control department for Outdoor Channel and World Fishing Network. So I learned a lot about how television law works. And so when they started saying, oh no, it's a financial decision, I knew that was doublespeak for basically we have to explain this decision any way we can. And then I looked to see where the numbers came from.
Right.
And it's just, yeah. It's really easy for them to say, oh no, those numbers don't mean anything. I don't mean to shoot you down, Robin. It's just that this particular one really means something to me because I've watched Colbert come up since the Dana Carvey show. I've watched him as a rising star since like 1996. Before Colbert, before Daily Show, before the Jon Stewart show. Like I don't even think he was on that show. But he was on the Dana Carvey show.
All the voiceovers for Comedy Central too.
Yeah, in fact, he had to quit Comedy Central's voiceover stuff for Harvey Birdman, attorney at law, when he got the Colbert Report.
Anyways, it's 8:30, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna talk to you guys later.
No worries. I'm sorry. I'll bug you later. I didn't mean to shut you down. I love you.
No.
All right. Bye, girl.
See ya.
Have a good day.
Okay. I'm so passionate about Colbert. He's like my spirit animal.
How are we on time anyway?
We're way over time.
Okay.
We're on 6:33, so you don't have to stay if you don't want to, if you have stuff to do. If you just want to hang out with me while I'm drawing, you're good.
I actually have something I have to attend to.
Okay. Yeah, you can leave me alone. I can go a little long on my own.
Okay.
By myself.
People in streaming land, listen to her. She knows what she's doing.
That's okay. I got talking. Okay. Adios, sir.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. We'll see you guys. And peace out. And get me the panels in the next few days when we get a chance.
Yes, I won't be so tardy this time.
Oh, no worries. I'll bug you if you are.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, you can sign out whenever you're ready.
Thanks. See you. Bye.
All right. Bye. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna just finish this John Constantine panel, and I'll get you off the screen so you don't have to worry about clocking out. There we go. I'm just gonna finish this John Constantine panel of him getting a beer and then heading off. And I'll do it kind of relatively quick. The craziness about censorship of something like the Jester is that the Jester is always supposed to make fun of the king. He's always supposed to have the voice of the people, and it's supposed to be one, how the king can hear the voice of the people without the people losing their heads, and two, how the people can feel heard by the king without losing their heads. Without losing your heads is very important to the equation. And the Jester hasn't always been there. But when the Jester has been there, it's important to make sure that you protect the Jester. it's important to make sure that you allow the jester a place to speak, time to speak. You know, the jester goes out amongst the people and listens to their complaints. I'm sure that head loss is a leading cause of death, especially in dictatorships. But the jester goes out amongst the people and he listens to what the people are saying. And then he rewrites what they're saying in a comedic way. And then basically is reporting to the king what the people are really saying. And if the king chooses not to listen to the jester, then the king opens themselves up for whatever is to come, because he is no longer listening to the people. And the will of the people is very important. The will of the people is very important. Let's see. Okay, I should be back in just a second. Yeah, do that. I have better dots than that. I had better dots than that. I thought I had better dots than that. I do not want to call him a king. Thank you very much. Don't want to call him a king. Don't want to think of him that way. No. Dictator. Usurper. Pretender. I will use words like that to describe such people. Yeah, I'm just I usually try and stay off of politics on this show. No, you're gonna abandon me too? No. No, okay. No, let me finish this. I need to finish this.
Still going?
Yeah, I'm still going. I'm going a little long to finish this. Yeah, orange Mussolini, no kidding. Here we go. All right. My work here is done. All right. And with that, I am going to end Philo. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. This is produced by me, Amber Greenlee. Panel2panel.com is my website. Captain T, I'm going to start again probably next week when I get a chance and my daughter's room is clean. Patreon.com is if you want to support me. Thank you, Shy Hermit Crab, for subscribing. That's very nice of you. And then twitch.tv, I just uploaded a bunch of emotes. And then youtube.com/@artglitch is where the episodes, thank you, is where the episodes will be uploaded. I will see you guys in the future.